Hello, my beautiful Minnesotans. Hello, happy summer. And today with Ask Nancy, and in today's video, we're going to learn about a big topic, how the city, the county that you live in assesses the value of your home.
Absolutely.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, hey guys. Thanks for watching.
All right, and again, if you like what you see, follow, tell a friend about Ask Nancy, where we talk about all things real estate regarding your home right here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So before we're going to get to it, we're going to read, again, these lovely Zillow reviews regarding Nancy being a realtor. And this one is from, I'm going to read it, okay?
Hang on to this. Yeah.
It's from M. Shang. So, hi M. Shang. I highly recommend Nancy because she's efficient, responsive, and cared about the things that were important to me during the home buying process. Nancy.Yang helped me purchase a home back in 2013, and she did a great job negotiating various issues and maintaining a high level of professionalism.
Aww.
Buying a house can be very stressful, and it is very stressful.
Absolutely.
But
especially this year has been a rough one.
Yeah, let's get a do-over. Yeah, but everything turned out better than I expected due to Nancy's expertise and clear instructions. I love it when you ask somebody and they're like, you do this. I hate it when you say, I don't know, I'll get back to you, but not with Nancy. So thanks so much.
Probably
Nancy.
over-informed too much.
Okay, so you ready for Ask Nancy? And we're going to talk about how, we always talk about buyers and sellers, how much your home is worth and what you get for it. But there's another big cost is how much the government thinks your house is worth.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. So can you just walk us stuff from the beginning?
Yeah, great. So I always joke when I'm talking with people who are buying a home, who are coming out of rental. I'm like, you know what? When you become a homeowner, you become a contributing member of society, really, because a lot of times, like, the reason why our children can go to school for free is because all of us homeowners are chipping in to help bear the burden of the cost for some of those things, right? So as some of you may know, I was actually recently in Georgia for a family funeral, and it was a wonderful celebration of life. And during that time period, I actually got an inside look because someone that we're related to in our family actually works for the Ramsey County Assessor's Office. So I was able to really grill her on like an in-depth look of how like our taxes and how the assessor kind of looks at our properties, right? Mm-hmm. So first off, in general, everybody in the state of Minnesota pays the same amount of property tax, which is 1.15% of the value of your home.
So the same rate.
Yep.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you live in Edina or Maple Grove or in Woodbury, where I live, everybody pays the same tax rate. However, property taxes can vary greatly depending on the city that you live in, right? So let's say there's a new library going in, a couple of Ramsey County libraries. Some of the taxes that you pay may go to fund something like that. Okay. Also, policemen, firemen, city services, county services that we all get to enjoy and utilize. I feel like there's not a lot of education in terms of like what's out there and what's available for people to use, but county websites, city websites are excellent. They're
street sweepers.
Yeah, they're chock full of information. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was really interesting to get a kind of a bird's eye view on what she does every day. And so Katrina actually is a sister-in-law of mine, and she was telling me that she covers actually the greater east side of St. Paul.
Awesome.
And there are, and she's been working her capacity, at the assessor's office for some time. Now, what happens is she is responsible for actually 7,000.
Oh my gosh, I thought it'd be like 12 homes or something, or 2 blocks. 7,000 homes?
Yeah, when I heard this, my jaw literally hit the floor.
So many houses!
Guys. Exactly, so 7,000 homes. She's responsible for tracking the values of these homes. Now remember, the assessor has nothing to do with taxation, so they're not, she's not able to answer a lot of questions when I was kind of like grilling on taxation questions, but really coming up and determining with a value so that the, Ramsey County can determine the amount of taxes on your home, right? And so, but she was saying, she basically will review 7,000 homes, but it's on a rolling 5-year basis. Okay. So every year she, will personally either do like on-site visits, like sometimes living in St. Paul or any city, really, you might get a little card from the assessor's office where they put it on your door like, hey, we're kind of interested for coming in to take a look at your home. Are you okay with that?
Oh my gosh, true story. We got a card like that.
Did you?
And it was so strange. I never got it.
But you have an amazing home. Did you actually have them come in?
No, No, they didn't come. They said, I forgot, but it's like, from the looks of the outside, as long as it matches what we see, then we don't need to contact you. And it was the first time I ever got that.
Sure.
Like letter or card.
Yeah.
It was strange.
Yep. Usually the assessor will just like, they'll put a little card right in your door and just say, hey.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's, I know that a lot of it's pretty voluntary. So,
okay.
Yeah. And so, what she was telling me is that they do look a lot at obviously what, homes are selling for.
Okay.
They have to come up with comparable sales, just like a real.
Like a realtor.
Yeah. Just like a real bank appraiser would, at the end of the day when they're coming up with that value. Right. And so, I thought that was really interesting because, I'm like, gosh, it's all broken up into grids and she's got to do so many on-site visits. So she does a lot of her work outside of the office. But the big question is like, people get upset about like, why do I have to pay property taxes? Like I actually had a client who had said they looked at their costs when it came down to buying a home and then paying, like setting up their escrow account and, you've got to prepay some of your taxes and insurance. And they're like, well, Nancy, can we get rid of this escrow? Like, I don't want to pay this. So I was like, well,
yeah, nobody wants to pay it.
Yeah, absolutely. But, the big question people have is that if you're like, so every year in March, you're going to get a statement, from the county that says, hey, your home has been assessed at this value. And that's how the rest of your taxes are all going to shake out, right? So they do give you a breakdown of how much your property taxes are. Now, there's a small window, essentially, and it's going to be on your tax statement in which you could potentially dispute it. And you can go to the county assessor and say, hey, I don't agree with the, the value that you've given me on my home, and I want you to reassess it, right? So initially, essentially with them being overwhelmed by so many different homes, if you don't speak up, squeaky wheel gets the grease and all that, you need to, make a dispute within that time frame in order for them to come out and reassess your property.
1 year, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So if you make a dispute, for instance, you can only dispute the value of this year. Now in Minnesota, our taxes are paid in arrears, right? So in 2020, we're paying 2019's property taxes. So if you were to make a dispute this year, you would be disputing the value that you're being assessed in 2021.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I just thought it was interesting because she was able to tell me, like, if you dispute it for 1 year and you still don't agree with them the following year, it's going to be like a repeated process. So yeah, lots of information on their website, but I thought it was really cool to just kind of get an inside look on, what that looks like. And, it was kind of a shocker to me, that of course, everybody in the state of Minnesota actually pays the same exact tax rate. Yeah. So it's not any higher or lower for,
I thought Edina pay the most.
Yeah, but then of course it's going to be like for instance, some of the school systems right now are like wanting iPads, right? Or like Google Chromebooks. Yeah, my daughter is a freshman and
that comes out of tax money.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Their schools got all these Google Chromebooks for all the freshmen, and so I'm like, wow, that's got to be pretty expensive.
So that is where your tax money goes, and I hope you found this really useful about not just the value of your home, but what goes into it, and why you pay for it, and what are the services that you benefit from.
Yeah, absolutely, guys.
All right, and shout outs, especially to this gorgeous house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we're actually standing in a Lennar built. Actually, we're in is this like a detached home we're in today?
It might be.
Yep.
But all I know is that it's gorgeous and it's Lennar. So it's beautifully staged.
Yeah. So last year actually I helped 3 different clients build Lennar homes. One was So one was kind of what they call a spec home, like it was already pre-built. So we couldn't really pick much. It was just kind of like, this is, what you're getting. And then the other 2 did go through the whole process of like building it from scratch and seeing it, like it's really amazing to see like a hole in the ground. And then all of a sudden, a few months later, this beautiful, stunning home is there. If anything, I'd love to shout out a client of mine, and I worked with her for some time, Kim Vang. She actually owns Expert Hair Salon at the Maplewood Maplewood Mall. Yeah, and one of my first jobs many years ago when I was a teenager, I was actually working at Maplewood, and I also want to if you guys. Right now, retail, everybody, all small businesses, like, you guys hear me talking about small business all the time.
You love it.
And, I know a lot of people and that have small businesses, and everybody's struggling with, what's been happening in the economy. But I believe the malls have opened back up again.
Yes.
But, Kim actually had built a Lennar home, and so we're walking through a Lennar home today, so you guys will see a walkthrough later. And so she was able to kind of go through that process of just like meeting with the builder, letting them know like, no, I want the outlets like in this room over here. I want this specific tile. I want this type of, cabinet and things like that. But she is an owner of Expert Hair Salon.
Expert Hair Salon. Go there, get your haircut.
Yeah, absolutely. She's amazing. She's like tried and true. She's done my hair multiple times. There was some time when she had first started many years ago where I was, you guys might not know this, but I did hair myself for actually 10 years. While I was also doing real estate in between working for Wells Fargo Bank. But, there was a small period of time where I'm like, hey, I can come in and help you out on Fridays. And eventually, I would go in on Fridays to Maplewood Mall. It's a great family, family mall over in Maplewood. And like we take our kids walking there all the time because what can you do when it's cold half the year, more than half the year here in Minnesota. I'd go in on Fridays to help her out, and eventually I just spent so much time in the back, like on phone calls, I'm like dealing with real estate stuff. She was like, Nancy, it's okay, I understand. But I still love her so much. She's such a hardworking mom and provides for her family, and yeah,
Kim,
love to see her kids
I want to get to know you. Maybe I'll get my hair cut there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You should. Okay. It's wonderful. So she's got, I love small business owners because they're providers, so Absolutely. They provide a service to people. They also provide jobs. Absolutely. So, yeah, that's my shout out this week.
All right, Kim, Leonard, Nancy, thank you so much. If you need any questions, write it down. We love seeing the community here about real estate in Minnesota. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, Zilu. I want to know what your real name is because I always see you on Facebook.
Zilu, what is your real name?
And a lot of people that I happen to know.
Oh.
Yeah, and Kerr's a real estate agent over at Coldwell Banker.
Hi, Kerr.
So great to see you, Kerr.
And Hugh. Hi, Hugh.
Yep, I know he's also in real estate, I think, but I really appreciate you guys chiming in and watching us. And yeah, stay tuned for a walkthrough with this beautiful Cottage Grove Lennar home. Have a great one.
Bye.